Hello YouTube, this is Soundwave2 bringing you today a deck profile for a deck that I really don't actually have a name for. It's a Steelswarm uh, Shadoll hybrid. Something that I started looking at whenever the Shadolls got spoiled with Midrash, and I think it's the Duelist Alliance, as it's going to be called in the TCG. So I'm going to give you a real quick run through and talk about some of the things that have changed with this deck versus other decks. All right. So starting off, we're gonna look at we got the a lot of stuff just kind of stays the same. All right, we got three caster, three Karakan. What I feel is the standard, like some of the standard monsters for for steel swarms. All right. They offer extra additional normal summons, and I can go through this again and again. All right, I run both of them in three. I think they're extremely important. I'm only running two Mass Chameleon and not three, but that's because this deck doesn't devote itself entirely to the to Mass Chameleon plays. So still feel like it's important. It's a part of the deck that needs to exist. It gives us it expands our playbook, so to speak. So I still run two. That's entirely up to you. Maxi, I think Maxi is just a staple at this point. With how important special summons are, especially now that we have what is it, Pendulum summons coming up. Um, yeah, so there's that. This guy, however, this is our new play toy, our new play thing. This is more destruction. This is creature removal. This is fantastic. Okay, Shadow Dragon. This is coming out in Duelist Alliance. All right. Now this is why I picked this one. All right? I didn't even look at the stats before anything, so we're gonna talk about the stats, talk about the effect. Okay. Uh, Shadow Dragon. Okay. You can only use one Shadow Dragon effect per turn, and only once that turn. All right. So we got a little restriction, not to make anything too repetitive. If this card is flipped face up, you can target one card your opponent controls and return that target to the hand. This is cool against extra deck stuff mainly, especially if you're going to like some sort of shadow mirror, and you don't want like their Nephilims or their Midrashes going back to the or going to the graveyard. So this gets rid of them in a way that's beneficial to you. Okay. This other effect here is pretty cool. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one spell or trap card in the field and destroy the target. That's actually pretty important. We'll get to that in a minute. Other things to note about this guy is 1900 attack. Level 4, Dark Attribute, 1900 attack is 0 defense. So we have another card right here working with Chameleon. Alright, so that expands us to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cards out of this whole deck that now work with Chameleon. It gives us more level 8 Synchro plays. It gives us more rank 4 Ixies plays. Um, it's fantastic. It also gives us access to fusions, but we'll get to that in a bit. All right, and then this is my basic lineup for the actual steel swarms. All right, three collar. Again, it's so important. It's not even funny. Three cell again, because I hate scout. Scout is terrible. Um, three Girostag. I think it's the best tribute monster. It gets around so much. And then two Moth. It's the second best tribute monster in Steel Swarms, and it gets around things that Girostag otherwise couldn't. And believe me, there are some things. Let's go over our spells and traps. So we got one Book of Moon. This is so that we have a little bit of an anti-aggro edge. So it allows us to also, if we're in a position to need to use it, we can reuse Shadow Dragon's effect, flip effect. So there's that small amount of synergy. Um, so there's that. Three Pandemic, because I mean we're running Steel Swarms, or we're running L Swarms I should say. So why not? You know Blanket Lance is good. Um, three MST. It might seem a little excessive, but I mean we're running into we've got no we don't have Heavy Storm. We can't really use Malevolent Catastrophe like the upcoming artifacts are going to be able to. So being able to run as much just destruction as we can is extremely important. The next I'm running is this little guy. this thing here, this is the card that's going to change the face of Fusion uh, forever, New Yu. Uh, Almost like what super polymerization did back in the day. Shadow Fusion. All right, let's go over this. All right, you can only activate one Shadow Fusion per turn. Okay, fusion summon one Shadow Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or side of the field as fusion materials. It doesn't sound that big, okay? Sure, it's not. I mean, oh no, it sounds like polymerization. I get that, okay? But we're not done that. Okay? There's a wall of text here. If your opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can use monsters from your main deck as fusion materials. So what are we now allowed to do? We get to send uh, Shadow Dragon and Jirisag or Caller or Cell or Moth, whatever we want to make out of our extra deck here, synchro wise. We can now pitch straight from the deck, and we get to pop something with Shadow Dragon. So this is fantastic. I run it at two. Just don't want to draw it too often because we're not shadows, but I don't want to draw it. I don't want it to be one of those things where it's like I hope I'm drawing it also. Two seems about the right number for me. If it's something that you want to try, uh, you know, let me know. Like let me know, or show me a build that you're doing. You can do like a video response, or you can send it to my guide in on Pojo. You know, there, and I'll look at it and discuss it with you. Then we're going to the traps. I'm a little bit more meta oriented as far as traps go. So I'm running things like Black Horn of Heaven, which is extremely important in the actual meta game right now. So is Fiendish Chain. Being able just to stop plays is good. Um, I'm running two of these. I actually was a little inspired to run two of these from someone in the guide. I think it's Vendetta 13. I want to say his name. If I'm getting that username correct without rushing to look at it. Was talking about it just wasn't showing up, and it makes sense. It's right. I mean, sure it's searchable, and we are running a Fion. Um, but sometimes you just want to like this is something that you really want to waste Fion material for. So at two, it increases the likelihood of it showing up significantly. And then one warning. I mean, the warning is a little self-explanatory. So there's that. All right, I'm gonna run through couple of things in the extra deck that I didn't necessarily discuss that I'm using now. Shadow Midrash. Oh, L Shadow Midrash, excuse me. Alright, this is the Shadow Fusion that we're using. Alright, and that's because it's the only one that really works with our deck. Okay, so let's go over it real fast, talk about what it does and what it allows us to do. Excuse me, sorry. Alright, so let's read this here. Alright, must first be fusion summoned. Alright, this card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So, Mirror Force, no. Torrential, no. Boundless Shrapnel, no. Dark Hole, no. If they don't have a way to get rid of this through non-destruction, they're hosed. Alright. Let's see here. Neither player can special summon more than once per turn. Oh. So we have a special summon restriction stapled into a card that's anti-destruction. Alright, okay. I'm in. I'm sold. This is the reason that it's really in the deck. It has so much synergy with Ophion, it's not even funny. So yeah, there's that. And the last effect is kind of something that all of the that a lot of the shadows have. If this card is in the graveyard, you can target one shadow. Excuse me, one shadow spell and trap card in your graveyard and add that target to the hand or to your hand. So it means you can like target your fusions, or if you're playing pure shadows, you can target their trap card and add to your hand. If I mean that this effect is a little less viable for us, but that's because like fusion isn't our main goal. It's something that it's a goal, but not the one that we're really shooting for. So I mean, if you feel you need to bring it back, go ahead. I mean, there's that. Yeah, that effect's not really important to us. It's really the special summon lock, which you might think hurts us. Not really. And then we have this here, Castell the Avian Skyblaster, which is being called the uh, which is being called the generic Arknight. Is his name? Silent Honor Arc. Excuse me. And I kind of, after looking at their effects, I kind of disagree. Um, it makes sense to call them that. I mean, their effects do work similarly, but they do different things. Um, Arc hitting only special summon monsters, limits what he can take, but it doesn't limit them being useful in a way. I would say that Castell is the better of the two because he has outright bounces it and shovels it back to wherever it came from. So I think that he's the better one. Attack power might be a little less, but he's got stuff. I mean, he's got something he can do versus Arc, who's really nothing more than I don't even know. I don't even know. Um, I'd say that Castell is the better of the two between Arc and Castell. And then I'm going to talk about this guy who's been in my X deck for a little while now, and I really didn't talk about him the last time I did a video. Um, Dark Line Warrior Kane Gorgorn. This guy, storyline wise, this guy is the progenitor of the whole Shadoll infection. I don't really know what they're calling that. Um, but this guy is really kind of cool. Uh, let's see here, and then we're gonna talk about why. Okay, all right. So effect. During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets exactly one card on the field and no other cards, you can attach one Xyz material from this card, then target another card that would be an appropriate target. That card or effect now targets the new target. Okay, you can now make things pop. You can make cards pop certain cards, make cards bounce certain cards. It's pretty cool. It actually is. You say your opponent prematurely activates, Forbidden Lance or Forbidden Chalice. You can redirect that back onto them. You have problems with Bear, redirect it. Um, yeah, it's pretty cool. And also, something that's really interesting is that he lacks a once per turn restriction, meaning that you can redirect you can do it twice if they're really trying to mess with you. Like you can do it twice. That's awesome. The amount of stuff that you can get around with that, is fantastic. Look through this real fast. If there's anything else, it's kind of the standard extra deck. 2 Fire. I'm not even going to go into a Fire. Okay, yes, it's here. Um, yes, we can go into a Fire first turn. I prefer not to unless I already have Midrash out. Exciting Knight, Arc, Bahamut. Was it? That's kind of our extra deck. That's our Xyz at least. For our synchros, we've got Modest because we can use Cell with Chameleon. Dark End again. I covered Dark End in the last video. It's really good. Oh yeah, Hot Red. Dragon Archfiend. Yeah, I hate that name, but the guy is still good. 3,000 level 8. It's never been so easier, and it's never won me more games. Stardust Dragon. I like this one for the general coverage it offers more so than what is it? Shining Stardust Dragon. Um, sure, I can't protect from battle, but I mean that battle restriction, doesn't do much anyway. Let's see, Star Eater Dragon. It's a game. It's a game ender. It really is. Really easy to make with Jirastag and Chameleon, and then we got Leo. Also a game ender, and it can be made with Chameleon and Moth. So that's that. Let's see some quick things, and yeah, I have to apologize for the lack of videos that have been made recently. Like I said on Google Plus, I've recently started a new job and I'm kind of procrastinating. I do plan on posting my scout deck. I do have one fairly soon, so keep an eye out for that. All right, so have a good day, guys. Talk to you later.